What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about HBAR today, Hedera, hash graph. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 15th day of June. Here we are with about 7 hours, 34 minutes left in the day, left in the week as well. We go on the weekly time frame. You can see we're almost done with this week. It is Sunday. We are here at 15.4 cents now and looking ready to bounce, man. Things are looking good. We do have bullish divergence on the daily time frame. You've got a low here, a higher low here. You've got a low here and a lower low there. That is the definition of bullish divergence right there. So that's nice to see. Today could close red. No big deal. Go a little bit lower. It's okay. Go into the oversold zone. Who cares? But you got that bullish divergence as long as you maintain that. And then the next day, whether it's today, tomorrow, the next day, whatever, it closes green, you still have that higher low. That's going to be a mark of a relative low and likely take you to that next phase higher. You'll probably break out of this downtrend here, this momentary downtrend, and see the next phase up from the relative lows that you had back on April 7th, right? I have a long-standing theory. I say long-standing. It's probably been about a month long that this theory's been going on, but for a lot of cryptos, they went through this consolidation phase in December, November, January, whatever it is they started to consolidate until April 7th, right? They all have broken out, most of them, I should say. Maybe not all of them. Some of them are still in the dumps, which, maybe you should think about getting out of those, unless they're like brand new coins, but I digress. A lot of coins have seen some kind of a breakout, right, of that downtrend. And I think there's no doubt that HBAR is one of those coins that's broken out. My theory is that while the first move was fun, the second move is going to be more fun. It's going to be more robust. It's going to be larger and faster. It'll be something that's a little bit, more jacked up as far as like growth goes. And so essentially what I'm saying here is that while this is the low, and while we did move up like this, it took us a lot of time to move up from here, from April 7th to May 10th, that week there. That's whenever we topped off. I think it's going to take us less time to see more growth, right? We're probably going to be at our all-time high area. Is this our all-time high area? I'm sorry. No, our relative high area. We're going to be at our relative high for the cycle area by the end of this month. We're at 15.4 cents now. I'm talking about a 30-cent price or more by the end of the month, 30 to 40 cents in price or more over the next 2 weeks, right? This move will be more robust. That's what I'm expecting overall. Let's look at the short-term time frames and see if we are looking for a relative low, and then we'll come back out to this longer-term stuff, right? Looking at the 1 hour time frame, you do have bullish divergence here, or no, you don't. No, you don't have bullish divergence, but still, the 1 hour RSI does look productive. Higher lows, higher highs, the whole shebang. You've got a nice little, looks like a high heel pattern, right? You've got your high heel going on there. I don't know. It's like an Adam and Eve almost. What about something with some volume on it? Yeah, you gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. A lot of volume here on this way down. You make a second attempt, and there's just a pure absence of volume here. You are consolidating in this relative range here. I do think that you're going to break out and move up higher. Maybe by the end of today. If not, again, if you go lower, even if you go lower than this low, I'm not worried about the price. Okay, I really am not worried about the price. Go lower. It's fine if you do. You are kind of in an area right now that looks like you'd want to reject and go a little bit lower, but how much lower do you go? I don't know. Maybe you find a higher low here. Maybe you go lower. If you are to see prices below 15 cents, do not fret. Do not panic sell. It's just a better opportunity to buy is what that is there, okay? Looking at the 4 hour time frame, there is bullish divergence there. That divergence started over here, and you kind of had that move up already right to that area. I would think with the 4 hour looking the way it does, I'm pretty confident that you are at a relative low. I don't think that you're going to go lower, but it's possible, right? The 1 hour is suggestive that you could go lower, but the 4 hour is suggestive that you're at a relative low, and you're probably going to go higher here pretty soon. I want to take this low to high and just see. I don't think, we're not even at the 1272, are we? Yeah, we just missed it. If we are to go lower, 14.9 cents likely holds, but man, I think this is more bullish than bearish as far as looks go. Yeah, 4 hour time frame likely continues building. By the end of this next week, going into the end of the month, we should be in the overbought zone, and that's likely when we're going to see this move take full shape, full form, and break out and see prices that are, again, up at 30 to 40 cents by the end of the month. That's the expectation. You're at 15.4 cents now. Back at the daily time frame here, looking at this, let's just take a high to low, assuming that we do have the low. Maybe we'll take a low to high first. Hold on. Low to high here. Golden ratio, great area to bounce from. It makes a lot of sense that you would bounce here. Typically speaking, even if you are looking to go down, you do find turbulence, and you would at least come up, find support, and then or resistance, and then come down. You actually found support off the golden ratio here, came down, typically on the second attempt, you would expect to go to the 786, 886, and the fact that it's been 3 days now and you just haven't gone anywhere, I think this is the answer, man. I think this is it. You got bullish divergence and everything on the daily time frame, so this is your support zone. You're going to be moving up, right in the golden ratio. You're moving up, man. We take this high to low here, and we overlay it with the relative high to low that we have right here, high to low here. My expectation would be that we see something on the lines of like a 30 to 40 cent price. Look at that. Golden ratio, 1618, 2272, 40 cents, right? Just above that. So something, anything and everything between that area there, that's kind of what the expectation would be. You really might, even by the end of this month, see prices that are just above this high. But I wouldn't think anything too crazy above that high happens before the end of the month, right? Maybe. You never know. I mean, this thing, when it moves, it can move up pretty damn fast. I mean, hell, we're looking at the current price. We were here before. That was on November 29th. And then here we are, December 3rd, not even a week later. You're all the way up at this exact area that I'm talking about. So to say that we could be at higher prices by the end of the month, sure, it's possible. But that's not my expectation personally. We'll see. We'll see. Definitely encouraged by the fact that this is the low. Let's zoom out and see where we're going to go. I want to use a different chart. I want to use something that has more historical data. Yeah, like this one here. So we'll use this high to low, and then we'll use the relative high to low as well on the weekly time frame. By the way, the weekly RSI, can I just tell you, it looks bullish as hell. Super bullish, right? Like here, you had these higher lows coming up every time, you were bouncing. Even here, you bounced right there. Here, you had a bounce, but inevitably you went lower, unfortunately. You've kind of got the same thing going on, but in a different sense right here. You've got higher lows coming up here. It would make sense that you bounce right here, right? You probably drive into the overbought zone with this next move up. That's my expectation. And it'll probably take a few weeks. Going into July should be some exciting times, okay? That should be when you're really popping off. We take this from a high to a low here. Come on now, there we go, to a low. Yeah, the 1886 200 area is a very anticipated area for a lot of different cryptos with their relative consolidation phases. I would say that HBAR has a solid chance of not just seeing $1.20, but even going above there. But $1.20, $1.21, that's a good, maybe $1.30. That's a good area to expect to find resistance. You're here at 15.4 cents now, so that's a good minimum target. And whenever I say minimum target, let me tell you what I mean. I mean, at a minimum, that's what I expect, right? Which means that if we're looking for where the price is going to go, this is on the low end of the range, okay? But I think that that's a fine area. You really could stop there. No problem with that at all. The next target area would be about $1.79, $1.80, something like that. And typically you would expect with the 1414 to go just above it. Typically with the 2272, you would expect to go just above it. So what's right above $1.76 that might provide psychological resistance? $2 right there. So something around $2, that's my expectation personally. That's a good kind of intermediate price prediction, right? Minimum price range, $1.30 to $1.21, something like that. My personal expectation would be something between like $1.80 and $2. And then if we were to go any higher than that, I think something around maybe just below $3, $2.65, something like that could be what we expect as well. I could see you going as high as $2.65, but I really do think that you'll stop probably just below $2. Let's look and see. Let's do HBAR versus Bitcoin and just see what we come up with here. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let's get it on Binance. There we go. So looking at this on a monthly time frame, HBAR, you have areas that you like to find support. You have areas that you like to find resistance. You found resistance here kind of in the middle of your overall history with Bitcoin. So my expectation would be you've got some kind of bull flag here, right? You're probably going to break out and go up higher. It wouldn't surprise me at all if this measure move, and I haven't taken it yet, if that measure move took you to something in this range here. Okay, let's just see if it does. Okay, from a low, oh, that's not the low. We got to get the low. Come on now. Low to high. Come on. There we go. You put it at the low right there. Okay, assuming that's the low. Look at that. Takes you right smack dab in the middle of that range. Right there. Perfect. It makes a lot of sense to me. Let's be conservative. Let's be pessimistic. Okay, let's assume that this makes sense. Bull flag, all that stuff. That yellow line's even just below the measure move. Let's put it at this wick, this low wick, throughout that whole little range that we have right there, right? Let's put that line right there. HBAR versus Bitcoin is going to go right here or higher, I would assume, by the end of this next move, by the end of July, maybe it's August, whatever, but I think that you're going to be up in this area, okay? If we do this, 3 zeros, 4 zeros, 5, that's 5 zeros, 836. Let's do this real quick. Google calculator, okay? Google calculator. 5 zeros. Was it 836? I'm sorry, 386. 836. 5 zeros, 836. 836. Okay, that, and we multiply it by Bitcoin's current price. All right. Now, this isn't going to tell us where the price is going to be for HBAR USD. It's just going to tell us where, if we're expecting this next move to take us up here, it's going to tell us that we would at least get here or higher, right? Because Bitcoin will likely not be at this price, okay? We're projecting out for HBAR BTC, but we're using the current price for Bitcoin, which is 105. Let's just say $105,000, okay? I think we can all agree Bitcoin will be at a lot higher price than 105,000 by the time HBAR grows this much versus Bitcoin, because HBAR can't grow and Bitcoin's not growing. I doubt in the next month and a half we're here. We're probably going to be at higher prices. So what's that price going to be? That's 87 cents. So again, and this is an unrealistic target. It's completely unrealistic, but just showing that at least we can expect that we will not stop at anything that's below 90 cents probably, right? We won't stop there. I think that's still too low. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that we would stop there. Let's input where I think Bitcoin's going to be, which is probably going to be $160,000 to $180,000 by the end of July. Let's even run that down a little bit. Let's say 140K. Okay, 140. $1.17. So again, that lines up actually very well, very, very well with our minimum fib target right here from a high to a low. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was the wrong fib. Come on now, high to low right here. Lines up very well with that $1.21 target right there, okay? So if you want to see this $2 area, if we want to make sense out of that, what's going to have to happen, I think, is that either HBAR tops off a little bit closer to Bitcoin, because even if we input 180K, I doubt that's going to get us to $2, right? And I doubt HBAR and Bitcoin top off at the same time personally. That's $1.50. Okay, making sense out of that. Bitcoin could go above 180K too. I think to rationalize the thought, and maybe what we've just done is de-rationalize the thought of going to $3.15, okay? Or anything above $2 to say the least, to rationalize the thought of going to $1.80 or higher, which I genuinely do think we're going to see. You're probably going to see a larger move. You're probably not going to stop here. You'll probably be at higher levels in the Bitcoin reading versus HBAR than you've been in years, right? So that's the only way to rationalize that, and I could see that happening. I really could see that happening. If we're taking this from a high to a low, let me actually put that back on. Hold on. Put that back on there. Come on. Get a high to low, and let's just see. Right there, this line here, that's sub our measure move target, right? That's below our measure move target. I was trying to be conservative, right? And that right there, that line is above the golden ratio. If you get above the golden ratio, likely you're going to go to the 1886 or 200. So let's run with that. Let's do a 4 zeros 1 1. Let's just see 4 zeros 1 1. What would that do for us? Okay. And we multiply it by, let's just say 160K. Not 180K, because again, I don't think they top off at the same time, but 160K roughly in that area for Bitcoin. $1.76. Okay, see, that makes a little bit more sense to me. So probably what happens then is that HBAR does run all the way up to this high around there versus Bitcoin. And then by the time Bitcoin's at 160 to 180K, we should be around this 1414 area. That makes a lot of sense to me. But anything can happen. We've also, don't get me wrong, right? If you're just blindly listening to me and saying, oh, okay, so it makes sense that we go to 180. There's a lot of rationality that we could stop around $1.21. There's actually a lot of rationality to stop there too. So don't get your hopes up too high, and don't be discouraged, man. I mean, we're at 15 cents now. Going to $1.21, that's phenomenal. Looking at the current price, it's about a 7x, almost an 8x move. Let me get this actually right at the current price here. Come on now. Come on. Why am I having a hard time? It's like a 7.8, almost an 8x move right there. Absolutely. That's phenomenal. Even at a minimum standard, you're outperforming the average coin. So that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. All right, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.